What if I told you the person standing between you and wealth is you? Not your salary, not your boss, not the economy. Millions of people live in an invisible palace of poverty, not because the door is locked, but because they never tried pushing it. Here's the twist the banks don't want you to know. Your mindset about money matters more than the money itself. At age 16, John D. Rockefeller kept a personal ledger tracking every penny he earned and gave away. He was broke. He was already training to be the world's first billionaire. Some people sit on mountains of opportunity and still starve, not from lack of food, but from fear of eating. We'll talk about why, and it's funnier than it sounds. Today we are going to reprogram your financial subconscious in around 10 minutes. Bold claim. Stay with me. Because the real battle between the psychology of money and the spirit of poverty isn't happening in your wallet. It's happening in here. Half the world fears money. The other half worships it. Both are dangerously wrong. By the end of this video, you'll know which side you're on and exactly what to do about it. Meet our two travelers through time. The merchant who understands money and the monk who is terrified of it. The psychology of money sees resources as expandable. The spirit of poverty believes they are fixed, scarce, and dangerous. Solomon, history's wealthiest king, said, "The generous soul will be made rich." He wasn't speaking spiritually. He had done the math. The spirit of poverty creates a loop. Fear of lack leads to hoarding. Hoarding leads to stagnation. Stagnation creates actual lack. The prophecy fulfills itself. The psychology of money works in reverse. Generosity creates trust. Trust creates opportunity. Opportunity creates wealth. It also fulfills itself. Medieval Venice merchants didn't protect their gold. They invested it in dangerous sea voyages. Their wealth multiplied because they understood risk is the price of reward. King Philip IV of France was so obsessed with protecting his treasury that he expelled the Templars, the era's bankers, and triggered a financial collapse. He had all the gold and no clue how money worked. Neuroscience confirms it. When you believe resources are scarce, your prefrontal cortex, the decision-making brain, literally shrinks in function. You get dumber about money the more you fear it. The psychology of money knows enough is a destination. The spirit of poverty believes enough is a trap, so it never arrives. Henry Ford doubled his workers' wages in 1914, not from charity, but from psychology. He knew that workers who felt financially secure were more productive. He created his own customers. Here's the equation the spirit of poverty runs. Money equals danger. Wanting money means you're greedy. Having money means someone else doesn't. Every premise is wrong. Most poverty mindsets aren't chosen, they're inherited. Your parents' relationship with money became your subconscious script by age 7. Money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. Rich people are selfish. These weren't truths. They were programs. And they're still running. If you've ever said, "I can't afford it," before you even looked at the price, congratulations. You have a spirit of poverty subscription. And yes, it's free, which is exactly the problem. The wealthy don't say, "I can't afford it." They ask, "Is this the best use of this resource right now?" That one shift changes everything. Two villages, same geography, same rainfall. One flourishes, one staggers. The only difference? What the village elders believed about abundance. Now let's go deeper. Here are the 7 psychological laws that separate the money mindset from the poverty spirit, and they're going to make you uncomfortable. Law 1. Scarcity thinking withholds. Abundance thinking releases. The tree that releases its fruit grows more. The one that hoards rots from within. Law 2. You will never consistently earn beyond your self-image. Not because the universe judges you, but because you subconsciously sabotage what doesn't fit your identity. This is why lottery winners go broke. Why raises get spent. Why debt rebounds. The external number changed, but the internal story didn't. Law 3. Every wealthy culture in history practiced some form of delayed gratification. Rome called it discipline. The Quakers called it stewardship. Behavioral economists call it the marshmallow test. The famous Stanford marshmallow study found that children who waited 15 minutes for 2 marshmallows instead of 1 grew up to have higher SAT scores, lower obesity rates, and, wait for it, significantly higher incomes. Law 4. Generosity is not charity. It is a wealth mechanism. Andrew Carnegie gave away 90% of his fortune. He died richer than when he started giving. Carnegie built 2,509 public libraries across the world, not from sentiment, from a calculated belief that educated communities generate more economic value for everyone, including himself. Law 5. Wealth flows toward value, not effort, not hours worked. Value. The spirit of poverty confuses busyness with productivity. Millions work 80-hour weeks in poverty. Some work 20-hour weeks in wealth. The difference isn't sweat. It's strategic value creation. Hard work is necessary. It is not sufficient. The parable of the talents, one of history's first documented lessons on investment psychology. The servant who buried his talent out of fear lost it. The ones who risked it multiplied it. Law 6. Every significant wealth creation in human history involved calculated risk. The spirit of poverty cannot distinguish between reckless gambling and deliberate investment. Risk is not danger. Risk is the price of asymmetric opportunity. You pay $1 for a chance at $10. The spirit of poverty only sees the dollar leaving. The money mindset sees the $10 arriving. The Medici family didn't become the most powerful dynasty in Renaissance Europe by hiding their gold. They invented the modern banking system. They created value so large, they needed new tools to manage it. Law 7. The language you use about money rewires your brain toward or away from it. I'm saving up versus I'm building capital. Different words, different neural pathways, different futures. Right now, you're recognizing yourself. Maybe in the monk, maybe in the merchant, maybe in both. That recognition is the beginning. The poverty spirit creates invisible income ceilings. Every time you approach your upper limit, an inner voice says, "Who do you think you are?" That voice is the ceiling. The ceiling doesn't shatter. It cracks. And every action you take against your conditioned limits creates a crack. Enough cracks and you walk through. By age 50, the average person with a poverty mindset has walked past an estimated 7 major wealth creation opportunities without recognizing them. Not because they weren't there, because the mind was not calibrated to see them. The psychology of money doesn't give you more opportunities. It makes you see the ones that were always there. 3 things must align: mindset, the psychology; resources, the psychology of money; relationships, the network that accelerates both. Miss one corner and the triangle collapses. Poverty and wealth are both inherited, not genetically, but psychologically. You received a mindset. The radical news: you can choose a different one at any age. 3 shifts. Awareness of the script you're running. Deliberate rewriting of that script. Consistent action from the new script. That's the entire formula. You already know which shift you need. The question is whether you'll take it. Now, the twist you didn't see coming. The monk had a ledger, and the numbers in it would make your jaw drop. The spirit of poverty was never about having little. It was about being enslaved to wanting more. The monk was free. The merchant was in chains made of gold. Both were right about money. One was right about life. Your assignment, and yes, you have one. Write down 3 money beliefs you heard before age 10. Then ask, are these still true? Are they helping? Are they yours? Replace "I can't afford it" with "I'm choosing not to prioritize this right now." The first creates a victim. The second creates an executive. Wealthy people track their numbers daily, not obsessively, but intentionally. What you measure, you manage. What you manage, you master. Give something today, not because you have extra, because generosity is a habit that rewires the scarcity loop at its root. If this rewired even one belief today, subscribe. You want to know this. You're not defined by the mindset you inherited. You're defined by the moment you choose to think differently. That moment could be right now. Money is a tool. Poverty is a mindset. Freedom is a choice. See you next time.